Hey, this is Dan Jones, owner of Carolina Real Estate Experts. Wanted to say thank you, first of all, for trusting our company getting your property sold, and we look forward to working with you. The purpose of today's video is just to go over some of the things that you're going to be seeing from our listing coordinator, and I want to take a few minutes as well to review an offer, which in North Carolina is called an offer to purchase. This is the contract you're going to see when you sign when you get an offer on your property. So one thing that's really important to us is education, and we want to make sure you understand as much as you want to about this process. Oftentimes people say, you know what, we trust you guys, you've been doing this for a really long time, just tell us where we need to sign. Other people really want to know in detail what it is that they're signing and how this process works. We totally understand that, and this is information for you and for anyone else who wants to learn about real estate and how offers work and paperwork in regards to selling a house. So this is our offer to purchase. The first page is simply just information about the house and terms on the offer. There are two things you have to remember when selling your house. There is due diligence, which is the inspection period for the buyer, and then there is earnest money. So there's two checks that are written with an offer. The due diligence money is money that goes into your pocket that the buyer never gets back unless they purchase the house. Now with that fee, that gives them the ability to terminate the contract for any reason whatsoever during their due diligence, quote, inspection period, and they would receive their earnest money back. If they go over the due diligence amount of time, they will lose that earnest money. All right, and at that point we'd put the home back on the market if they did not close. So that's our due diligence and earnest money. We do have an escrow agent, an attorney with a trust account that would hold the earnest money there. Now, this is a part of our contract, fixtures and exclusions. This is in the paperwork. We're going to go into a little bit more detail, but these are all the things that would stay with the house. We'll talk about that in more detail. And then page 4, we have everything the buyer is going to do during the due diligence process. All the inspections, insurance, appraisal, everything from top to bottom, radon inspections, right? They're going to look at the house from top to bottom and make sure they really want to buy the house and do their due diligence. But this just lists out, and you'll get a copy of this, of everything that the buyer is going to do during the due diligence period. Okay? Now they're also going to disclose what sort of loan they're doing. That can change. And then we do have some of the paperwork that you're going to fill out here shortly in regards to disclosures. And then section 8 is all our seller obligations. This is going to show you everything from top to bottom in regards to having a clean and clear title. If you bought the house normally, there should be nothing wrong with your title on your property. However, that will go into detail. The last thing I want to point out about our offer that can be a little bit tricky for some folks is the buyer does have the right and ability to, if the date for closing, let's say, is June 1st, and their loan is not ready, they have legally 14 days from that contract to extend the close date. All right, so this throws a lot of people off because you have movers, you have a lot of things going on, and we understand that. Oftentimes that's out of our control. Okay, so we will communicate the best that we can in regards just to, you know, closing dates and things moving, but oftentimes that's out of everyone's hands, and that's the buyer's lenders. Even if they're pre-approved up 100%, the bank might be waiting on one more pay stub before they can give the clear to close, which might throw us off a day, 2-3 days at the very end for closing. So be very flexible there. Also, a few days before closing, you're going to receive a closing statement. Okay. Once again, that's out of everyone else's hands as well. That is up to the closing attorney to get that to you so you see your final numbers. We're going to give you a really good idea of what you're going to net at closing, but the closing attorney is solely responsible for getting those numbers over to you. Okay? Now, this is the paperwork that's going to come over to you in an email. Some of it's going to come in a DocuSign, but I want to start off with the part that is coming to you and you have to physically fill out and send back to us. Okay? These are the oil, mineral, and gas rights. Okay? So in North Carolina, this is big in certain part of the states. However, in our area, it really doesn't affect us so much. But when you fill this out, do not put your initials over here. It says the buyer. Okay? These over here are no representation. So most of the time, people will put no representation because you don't know if somebody before you, a previous, right, both these are basically on the previous owners. You don't know and you can't represent. So if you put no here, you could get in trouble because you're saying that the owners previous before you did not sell. Just put no representation, and the other ones are fairly obvious. We need to put no here and then sign and date here. This you will have to print out and actually fill out. We cannot put this into DocuSign like the other documents I want to go over with you in a moment. The second document you're going to print out and get back to us are the property disclosures. Read through these very carefully. If you have any questions, we can help you out as much as we can. There's going to be some information about your HOA, how much the dues are, contact information for the HOA, what year was this roof put on. If you don't know, if you bought the house 3 years ago and the roof could have been changed 4 or 5 years ago, there's a section here that says no representation. We can put no representation. If the home was built in 2004 and the roof is original, we can obviously safely put 2004. But if we don't know any of these on here, it's no representation, okay? So these are the two documents that we need you to fill out and get back to us. Now this is everything that we're going to send to you via DocuSign. So we have a home inspection. What is a home inspection? It kind of goes over the guidelines of what a home inspection is. Really pretty self-explanatory, but the state of North Carolina makes us send that over to both buyers and sellers. So if you're purchasing a house with us, you're going to see that again. Here's our professional disclosure. Here is our service disclosure. So this is more for a buyer, right? But these are some things that the state wants the seller to know the buyer is going to do. So for example, they're going to do a radon inspection more than likely. They're going to do an HVAC inspection, a loan, appraisal, surveys, well inspection. If you're on city water, you won't have to worry about that so much. But we just want to make sure that you understand these are things that buyers are going to do in regards to inspections on your property, okay? This is our working with real estate agent. This is a state required document. It explains who represents who. If the buyer is represented by a buyer's agent, it tells you what a buyer's agent is. It's pretty self-explanatory. The only thing that gets a little bit tricky is when you have a dual agent, okay? So you authorize us either to or not to, which most people do want us to sell your house, so one of our agents can actually physically show your house, but it defines what that dual agent situation looks like. Pretty self-explanatory, but once again, the state really wants you to understand who's who within a transaction, okay? This is our listing agreement. This is the last state required document. This defines how long the contract's going to be to actually have your home on the market and the opportunity for us to list your house. Front page is literally all legal jargon, but at the bottom of page 1, this is something we need to pay attention to. All right, fixtures and exclusions. So everything here, and including page 2, the top of page 2, are things that will stay with the house unless we put that in the listing agreement and tell people in the MLS that they do not stay. For example, if you have a stove or an oven, those stay. Your refrigerator stays with you. However, ovens, microwaves that are attached, bathroom mirrors, regardless if they're attached or not, they will stay. Basketball goals outside of the house that are in concrete or are fixed to the property. We have ceiling fans, they will stay. Gas logs that are inserts into a fireplace, they will stay. Fuel tanks, either they're buried or not buried, they will stay with the property, okay? Garage door openers with controls, oftentimes people forget about those in their car. Generators that are permanently attached, right? So the thing here are things that are attached to the property, like a mailbox that's cemented in, you know, whatever the case is. But the tricky one, a lot of people come back and ask about curtains, but if they're fixed to the wall, the hardware will stay, okay? Anything fixed there. Blinds, we can't go taking down all the blinds from a house after showing a house with all the blinds. I don't think any of our folks have ever done that, but obviously that's been a situation enough that it's worthy of putting in our listing agreement for statewide purposes. But read through these, and if there's any, it's pretty self-explanatory, but if there's anything that would not stay, we need to know up front, okay? Home warranty, do you agree or not agree to purchase a home warranty up front? Most buyers are asking for that, so it's easier to have that. And the benefit of buying a home warranty up front is if anything happens to your air, HVAC, or your furnace, hot water, heater, you're covered until closing. And once closing starts, the buyer will have a year moving forward of coverage. So you're covered during that period, and most people are going to ask for one anyway, so we always kind of encourage the home warranty. We will define the list price. Here is the firm's commission. All right, so our marketing fee will go here. The total marketing fee will go in this line here. Now, according to the state, we do have to disclose what we're going to offer to buyer agents and other people. This is not in addition to our marketing fee listed on page 2. All right, this is whatever proportion that's going to go to someone else who might bring a buyer if we don't for your property, okay, or an additional firm. So here's our marketing side. This shows you everything that you're going to allow us to do in regards to marketing, and most people want us to market the property to full extreme. However, if you don't want to sign or lockbox, we understand. We can work with that. However, that is very convenient for most folks to show the property. Here's just going to say yes or no, you're in a flood zone, some owner association information, so have that ready for us. This lists out some of your seller's expenses here. We will go over some of those more in detail, but selling your house, you don't have very many on those. Here is just information on your lender. Who is your lender? How much is owed roughly on the property? The state makes us ask you, are you in bankruptcy? We hope not, but if that's the case, we do have to disclose if the property is under bankruptcy procedures. FHA, that is not going to apply in this market. Special assessments. Are there any assessments from the county or from the state in and around your neighborhood about your property? We would have to disclose that. Any fuel tanks here. Section 13 discloses all your seller duties, which we talked about in Section 8 of the contract, seller obligations. So Section 13 here, this basically, to sum all this up for you, is if we know information about something going on with the house, or there's a cloud on the title, for example, we have to be upfront with people, because if we don't produce a clean and clear title at closing, that's a problem, and we don't want to see anyone get sued. But if there's anything that we can help you handle any of this, and our attorneys as well. But this defines on what you're going to do here. So this right here is what we were talking about earlier. Are you going to allow us to sell your house? Obviously yes. So we were going to check dual agent here. You're going to allow us to be a dual agent, which allows us to show your house and sell your property. And then here is where we are going to sign. And we are successfully at page 10. In 2010, I think we're at 2 pages. So the state has increased year by year on our page count there. So one more topic for you before I let you go is our showings. So once we get all the paperwork, if you're doing coming soon, that's fantastic. We can't show your house during coming soon. However, once we hit go, our closing coordinator is going to get with you, and we are going to set showing instructions. So you can save the number that who is calling you from showing time, and there's an app, really simple. We'll teach you how to use that, but it's really easy to approve showings. You can set up an hour notice. You can set up an hour required appointment. You have to approve any showing. You could do a 2-hour notice. Hey, give me at least 2 hours to get set up. If you work from home during the day, we can always block out different times. But save this number that we give you for showing time, so they know if they're calling you. You can call us a shake the bank, shake the moneymaker, whatever you want to call it. Make it rain. But that means people are interested in the house and want to come see it. So save that number. The app's gonna make that process really easy for you. But this is just some commonly answered, question and answers on the paperwork we're sending over to you. You're gonna receive a hard copy. Once you sign the stuff through DocuSign, you'll be able to save a copy of any of the things that you signed, number one, so you'll always have a copy. Number two, the 2 documents we went over first on the seller paperwork is the only thing we're going to need from you back. And you probably already have this, but it's worthy go ahead and giving it to you as well. Our fax number is 704-973-9300, or you can scan those 5 pages back to us, whatever is easiest for you, and any additional information you have about your property. So I hope this has been helpful. We look forward to getting your house sold and be a referral source for life. We appreciate your business, and if you ever need anything from me directly, you can email me, call me. My direct email is dan@myhomecarolinas.com. My number is about ready to change, so I don't know what that's going to be. Too many sales calls these days, so we're going to have to change that up a little bit. But I hope this helps. We look forward, like I said, to be a referral source for life and meeting you in the future. But thanks for watching the video. Talk to you soon.